Alrighty then, it's time for a jungle Trundle game. Let's get this show on the road. Which one? And you guys know Trundle's probably one of my favorite junglers in the entire game. And he's one of those champions I feel comfortable doing building assortments of items. In this case, in any case with Trundle, I just try to go into a game, analyze both team compositions, and see what I can get away with. In most cases, you try to build a tanky bruiser kind of thing and just sort of survive. Sometimes you max out your W if you need the stats just to fight people, or you max out your E for cooldown, that kind of stuff, right? Anyhow, in this case, I saw that I had a Janna and a Zillion and an Olaf, and I figured the combination of those champions will help me be able to get away with a more offensive build. And then Ilaloi and Udyr, I can just steal the stats from them, so I'll be able to make myself, a better fighter, right? So that's my assumption. I'd be building Cinder Hulk for the first item, and then Trinity Force or Blade of the Rune King for the non-jungle items, and I just sort of try to beat them down. You can see it's kind of a slow game. The first blood goes to Ilaloi, so it just. And a couple more deaths will be here and there. Anyways, I also want to point out one thing. I bought a Hunter's Potion as well on Trundle. Now that's something I rarely get on him. But what I figure is that the enemy team composition is very high octane. I don't know, some word I'm making up, I guess. In which they're very action oriented. Like you can see there, they sort of collapsed on me and the Zillion when we try to do anything. Basically, Udyr and Akali are very high action champions. Morgana and Varus are very dangerous to gank. So I figure I need to be super healthy, super, sustained, like at the most 100% in order to deal with these champions. So that's how I justify the Hunter's Potion to myself. Now, as you can see, we're down 4 kills right now. It's pretty bad. My teammates are pretty much getting their asses handed to them. Olaf, for right now, he's getting destroyed, and thankfully, at the very least, we spotted gank down bottom. Now, this wall is actually really bad. It doesn't give me the vision I wanted it to give me, and it also doesn't block them off, but thankfully, at least slowed them long enough for me to be able to kill the Morgana, and then for my teammate to snipe the Varus. So that's pretty good for us. We're able to get this tower, and I believe that's the first blood for the tower, and then we're also able to back up and get the dragon as well. So that was a big swing in my team's favor, and in the replay you can see that we're almost equal if it weren't for Ilaloi stealing taking the turret while there was no defenders. But yeah, Olaf right now, the best that can be done for him is to just kind of let him linger. You can see his farm is pretty good despite the amount of harassment he's received, so I'm banking on him being a badass. We catch Udyr, but Zillion doesn't have enough damage, and he actually kind of missed some of his damage, so we were forced to back off, and Zillion burned his flash. Right now, again, it's just kind of a very annoying situation. By the way, Olaf died right there in a very frustrating way. The Zillion did not ult him at all, and the Olaf complained why did you not ult him. Turns out this Zillion player is doing two things. One, apparently he's high, but I'm gonna ignore that excuse because it's just something people say. And two, he doesn't play Zillion at all that much, so he's just wanting to practice him. If you're gonna practice a champion, you should probably do that in normals or something, because whatever. Anyways, just this situation right there just actually worried me a lot. As I said earlier, my idea was to steal the stats from Ilaloi and then just sort of become a tank. However, she alone, despite me stealing her stats, was very difficult to kill and almost killed me during that brawl. So that's really bad. And speaking about bad, this is horrible. Right now, Zillion got caught and you saw him get destroyed, and then the rest of my teammates get murdered as well. The enemy Akali is pretty huge, 402. The enemy team has a lot of gold spread. They're rather farmed. Their Udyr, even though he's got 202, he's pretty much only been able to get kills or assists simply by convenience or kill stealing, so I'm not really too worried about him. I don't think he's that much of a threat. He's also building Trinity Force, which I think is absolutely stupid against my composition, because then not only, like, again, Janna and Olaf are gonna make fucking short work of him. You'll see. Like I saw it coming. I had no worries about him. I was most worried about Akali not being able to control her, which is why you're gonna see me start spamming pink wards just to deal with her because she's getting out of control. And Ilaloi, because she's a juggernaut. If she touches anybody, she murders them. And of course, Varus is always just a prime target. If he gets by, and you gotta murder him too. Either way, you can see I'm building up to a Trinity Force, although after having finished it, I kind of felt that the Blade of the Rune King might have been better. Anyways, we catch Akali after she tried killing the Zillion. She came very close to killing him, but no. And I was hoping that I wouldn't have, that Akali wouldn't die, but thankfully the Jinx is able just to aim their rockets down a straight line and finish her off. So, hooray for us in that situation. This game is slower than a lot of the games I've uploaded in the past, but it's pretty damn tense. Again, both compositions are pretty well built in a way. I mean, they're not the best, and players like right now me are taking a really huge risk to sort of have a big old consequence. And we're honestly not fighting the best fights. In this situation here, this is what I meant by being just afraid of Illaoi. Her ultimate just fucking giga wrecks my team, despite the fact that my teammates came close to finishing off a lot of them. That Illaoi ultimate just fucking wrecked them. Plus, the Zillion, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He decided just to basically get himself murdered. So, yeah, it's not a good situation. Right now, it's 8-13. Though in the replay, again, I can't really check in game because you gotta sort of do some real quick math. We're seemingly still technically ahead. So, but in game, our morale is pretty low. Either way, Olaf has basically unleashed Olaf mode. You can see what I mean by it doesn't matter that he got kind of fucked. As long as he maintains his form, he's going to go absolutely ham on them. There is no one on the enemy team that can stop him. Maybe if they focus fire him, but nobody on the enemy team can stop him, and he counters a good deal of them. Akali can survive him with a dust, but since I'm starting to carry pinks, and some of my other teammates are starting to carry pinks as well, we're more than ready to be able to deal with her. So anything she does that's stupid, gonna get killed basically instantly. Varys will probably get murdered by Olaf and such, and we'll basically bank everything on him. But unfortunately, I get caught despite the Zillion ultimate, where Zillion ultimate being used on me. Probably should have gone to the Jinx or somebody else. Poor positioning and just simply being, unready for it gets us nearly wiped out. However, the enemy team gets double stunned right here next to Olaf, who then decides to absolutely giga wreck them. Unfortunately, they can't kill Hawaiian chick because Akali shows up, and Olaf's ultimate's about to run down, and everybody around him was already dying, so it was better just to cut our losses. So that little gain of theirs was made completely irrelevant because they were getting very greedy. Remember, don't get greedy or you get super punished. Also here, we catch Akali, and unfortunately I don't have a pink ward at this point, so we're just kind of running around in circles, but there's no way she can escape. She doesn't have a flash, and once she tries to run, I was just going to wall her in and she was going to die. This little section right here is one of the most powerful sections for Trundle. Like that, any wall you put in there is basically a game over for wherever you get. Now we also catch the Varys. I burned my flash just to be able to put a wall, but honestly that was kind of a waste of my wall and my flash, because there was no way they were going to get away. We chase after Hawaiian. By the way, it's just a kind of a replay mess up. She flashed over the wall. The Olaf gets really good accent, slows Morgana down to a crawl. I go in there, Morgana uses her ultimate. Illaoi does quite a bit of damage, and I eventually get taken down, but thankfully we're able to pick off Illaoi, and then sort of Uyur just kind of runs off, scatters off. It's like, he hasn't really done anything. Like, again, he might have a good spread, but it doesn't really feel he's done very much. Just sort of been there. Like, if you could pick somebody else, he may have accomplished more. That's what I mean. Anyhow, yeah, we're kind of winning or starting to, return this game into our favor on the back of how fucking powerful the Olaf is. Remember, there's some champions that don't really need to be going a murder spree or anything. They just need to get sort of farmed, and they need to naturally get behemothly and powerful and stuff like that. Okay, I mean, Morgana has DC'd a couple times, but it doesn't really matter at this point. The game is pretty much done. Or they cannot stop the Olaf, and he's got too much support, too many homies. He's got me to back him up in the front line, Zillion to hopefully revive him and not be high, and Janna just to disengage anybody and shield them, making him even stronger. So hooray! Both team compositions again weren't really too perfect, but mine is working better because the the star player, the Michael Phelps of our team, is pretty much being able to stomp them. Morgana goes in here and she initiated it on me, only on me, and you can see that I use my ultimate only when it's about to pop, so I have a longer chance of surviving. That was a really bad engagement on Morgana, and it basically baited her teammates to make a really bad fight. And from there on, they just kind of lose. You can see, oh, there's nothing stopping Olaf, and even when he actually does die, he just gets revived. Yeah, this was team, like a team Viking, I guess. Just jump on his back and let him slaughter everybody and just back him up. So hooray for us. I tend to actually like these team compositions. In solo queue, they tend to be super risky or just never exist, most because you got to rely on a complete stranger. But when it happens, when it works out, it's some of my most favorite moments of the game. I love those compositions. Anyways, hooray for us. Yay! This channel is supported by my sponsors, Crunchyroll and Loot Crate. Check out the description below for links to the websites. Signing up for any trials, including Crunchyroll's free anime trial, greatly supports my channel. Also remember to give the video a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet. I've also made a Patreon now, and if you wish to support me through that medium, then I welcome it.